is the economic situation affecting Alva's public school system? 7 News found out.
Plus, can going to the nail salon put you at a greater risk of developing cancer? 7 News reporter Sing Sing Lu investigates.
Also, Northwestern football is preparing for their first game against Colorado State University. Josh will be in with a look at what they've been doing and preparing coming up.
Keep it here. 7 News starts now.
From the campus of Northwestern Oklahoma State University, honored by the Oklahoma Broadcast Education Association 2 years in a row for the best collegiate newscast in Oklahoma. This is 7 News.
Hello and thank you for choosing 7 News today. I'm Ashton Gaynor.
And I'm Joe Perez. Last week we told you how Oklahoma's economic situation is not improving and how that affected us here at Northwestern.
This week, 7 News reporter Janelle Mitchell went to Washington Elementary School to see how the Alva School District is dealing with the revenue shortfall. It's this week's top story.
About $100,000 is the amount that Alva Independent Schools has lost this year due to the shortfall of revenue. Even with the 10% loss of state aid, Superintendent Don Ford says that they were able to keep certified staff at full force. Tracy Leeper, the principal of Washington Elementary School, informed us about how they prepared for the loss of revenue.
Fortunately, we really haven't had a lot of changes due to budget cuts. A few years ago, we felt we were pretty proactive and absorbed some positions and did some things as it went along. So there really haven't been a lot of changes just due to some good financial strategies.
Even with the budget cuts, Alva schools are helping out parents by cutting back school supplies that students need for class.
We'd had a few comments about that and felt that maybe this was a little bit of a hardship on some parents. So we went through and we trimmed that and cut it and took out copy paper and some of those things.
Alva schools feel that they have helped parents by cutting back the supplies that children need for school. Also, many schools cut back what teachers need for their classroom.
We just ask teachers to be practical. They're usually asked if it's a want or a need, and if they need it, we get it, and if it's a want, we kind of look at it.
Alva schools would like to thank the community for passing the bond issues this year. That money has gone to needed improvements at every one of the sites. Now back to you, Ashton.
Thanks, Janelle. On November 7th, Alva Schools would like to invite the community to come tour those improvements at the various sites. Well, college students sometimes stumble into their own budget crisis. If you're someone needing some additional funding, you may be able to get paid for tutoring. Northwestern's Upward Bound program is looking for college students to tutor their participants. Tutors will earn $10 an hour and have the opportunity to build career portfolios. The Upward Bound program usually seeks students who are interested in math and science and have a desire to teach the skill to high school age students. If you are interested, contact Northwestern's Upward Bound director at the information on your screen. The phone number 327-8113. Well, planning for this year's Northwestern Homecoming continues. We first told you last week that this year's celebration is happening much earlier in the year than normal, September 23rd through the 25th. Chairman of Homecoming Committee Steve Valencia tells us 7 News that September 25th was really the only viable option for the homecoming football game. Therefore, the committee chose that date. The committee is currently accepting float entries. The deadline is September 13th. Miss Cinderella orientation will be held on Saturday, September 11th. This year, the Rangers will take on Texas College in the homecoming game. Homecoming buttons will be available on September 7th.
Alva City and industrial leaders hope that a new jet runway at the Alva Regional Airport will lead to more economic development in the community. The 5,000-foot runway cost $5.4 million. About 65 million flights took off and landed at the airport last year. Officials expect the increase by 20%. Coming up in a few weeks, 7 News reporter Becky Burke visits with Alva's new airport manager to find out how the new runway will affect the amount of air traffic.
4 exciting acts headed to Northwestern as part of this year's Northwestern Oklahoma Concert Series.
Also, the Rangers are getting ready for their first football game of the season. Josh will be in with a look at the Ranger sports a little later.
Keep it here. We'll be right back.
Global warming. Some say irreversible consequences are 30 years away. 30 years? That won't affect me.
holding the pants. The pants are long. Do they go on my head? Do they? Do the pants go on my head? No. They go on.
Everyday moments can become teaching moments because learning starts long before school does. Give your child the start they need at bornlearning.org.
Kind of have that ADD thing to where I can't really pay attention that well. I might as well just drop out.
So I bounced from like foster home to foster home.
Dropped out of high school my junior year.
I was hanging out with some people now I realize I shouldn't have. They join gangs, start doing drugs, try to sell drugs. It distracts you from everything around you. You're always having to watch your back. You can't really be yourself.
The one person who really got me to go back into school was my mom, my mother.
My parents were the people that helped me the most. I need them to know that it really does help me, that they're there for me.
Welcome back. If you're in college and you're a female, you may be one of many who get their nails done.
Now, there may be one little step in getting your manicure that you may need to pay attention to, because if you don't, it could cause some serious problems. Campus Watch reporter Sing Sing Liu joins us at the desk. Sing Sing, are these problems really that serious?
That's right, Ashton. Actually, we have all heard of the risk of getting skin cancer from tanning beds. However, who knows, when women get their manicure, the nail dryers we use to dry our nails can be a factor to skin cancer as well, especially if you do it all the time.
That would kind of discourage me from going to get my nails done at professional places.
A lot of girls, just like Savannah Jolward, goes to nail salons regularly. However, no one ever expected the risk of getting cancer from this one simple step of getting your nails done. According to recent studies, UV light from the drying machine is one big cause for women to have skin cancer on their fingers and hands. That is, if they go to the nail salons on a regular basis. The UV light from the nail dryers are exactly the same compared to the UV light from tanning beds. More and more reports have shown women who regularly go to nail salons and use the dryer are getting cancer on their hands, even though they did not have skin cancer history. Women who get artificial nails are at higher risk. The more common side effect, though, is the fast aging of the skin on your hands. However, to most of the girls who get their nails done, it was a big surprise.
A little bit of shock and then a little bit of skepticism, like, the whole thing, well, tanning beds gives you cancer, and then it's good for you, and then it gives you cancer, and then it's good for you. Like, this could be like another one of those things.
Even though the chance of getting cancer is getting higher by using these nail dryers. However, there is one simple thing you can do to protect yourself from this risk. Just like applying sunscreen when you go out in the sun, before you put your nails under the drying machine, put some sunscreen on your fingers as well. This way it will protect you from aging the skin of your hands faster, as well as acquiring the risk of getting skin cancer.
Well, next time before you leave your house to get your nails done, bring your sunscreen as well, along with your favorite color of nail polish. Ashton?
Thanks, Sing Sing. That's some good advice. In news around Alva, citizens will soon have 6 full-time doctors in town to choose from. According to new Share Medical Center CEO Dennis Shelby, the hospital employs physicians Pamela Garner and James Culver and will welcome Liz Kinsey in October. In ranks of private practice, Linda McMurphy will be opening her own practice downtown alongside Phil Self and Kurt Barrick. The hospital is also transitioning into what is called a self-contained hybrid hospitalist program. This program will rely solely on the 6 doctors within the Alva community instead of relying on outside physicians for hospital and emergency care. Share Medical CFO Denise Reed says the change will save the hospital at least $800,000 per year.
And now citizens of Alva may be excited about the new physicians coming to town, but they may not be as excited about this. Now, according to the Eventful.com and flyers being passed out at the Nightlight, customers the Girls Gone Wild production company will be visiting the Alva Nightlight on Friday, September 10th. The production company is known for producing videos of the young women involved in sexual activities during spring breaks, Mardi Gras, and nightclubs. The girls are often encouraged to expose themselves on cameras in exchange for a t-shirt. We want to know what you think about this, so go to our Facebook page, NWTV, and give us your thoughts. The Northwestern Oklahoma Concert Series will return to Harrod Hall stage again this year. The Carrie Strayer Orchestra will kick off the series on September 14th. As for their first 4 scheduled acts for the season, the Carrie Strayer Orchestra performs a variety of numbers from the big band era, along with the arrangements of rock and pop standards. The Alley Cats, America's premier doo-wop group, will perform on November 2nd, and then after the first of the year, the Chamber Orchestra, Kleeman, will perform on February 24th, followed by the final show of this year's series, Garrett Big G Jacobson, on March 29th. Jacobson is recognized throughout Oklahoma as a soulful and dynamic guitarist and singer. All performances will be in Harrod Hall Auditorium at 7:30 in the evening. Season tickets are available at Holder Drug, Shoemakers, and the Northwestern Bookstore.
The Ranger golf team's working to set goals for the season. Coming up, 7 News sports reporter Johnny Gonzalez fills us in.
And the Ranger football teams hold a scrimmage and prepare for the Saturday's game. Josh has the details.
Keep it here. Josh is in next with sports.
In the classroom, I turn my head this way, and as the game banger looking at me, Mad Dog me throwing signs up under the table. I feel real scared for my life.
And during that time, I wouldn't go to school. My mom would tell me, like, what are you doing for yourself? You're not doing nothing. She encouraged me to go back to school.
My neighborhood is a dangerous place. What's pushed me to graduate is my mother walking down the aisle, hearing her scream for me.
I want to graduate from my mom. She watched the distance yell at me, you got to graduate, you got to get out of high school so you can get your diploma.
And I'm going to make it, and I'm going to be somebody in life.
Glucose plus oxygen equals carbon dioxide plus water.
Hey dear, what's up?
And energy. Superior vena cava, pulmonary artery, coronary artery.
I'd like to pass them back to you now.
For chem tissue types of endoplasmic reticulum with ribosome 3 o'clock already. And without. Copy of the skeletal anatomy notes. For chem site ones chem velocity axis skeletal anatomy refers to the lobes of the cortex.
She's got the drive,
cranial volume,
the energy,
ventral, parietal,
the heart,
and occipital,
and the talent.
Motor output.
Pre-med.
But she wouldn't be here without your help. Please support the United Negro College Fund, because a mind is a terrible thing to waste.
My name's Lisa, and in 9 years I'll be an alcoholic.
Hi, Lisa.
I'll start drinking in 8th grade, and I'll do some things I don't really want to do. So by the time my parents talk to me about it, alcohol won't be my only problem.
Kids who drink before age 15 are 5 times more likely to have alcohol problems when they're adults. So start talking before they start drinking.
My parents won't believe it could happen to me.
Welcome back. Football is live and in full effect in Alva. This past Friday night at Ranger Field, Northwestern hosted Sterling College in a full contact scrimmage. The scrimmage consisted of 7-on-7 lineman drills and a final 2 possessions for each team to cap it off. The scrimmage was full of excitement and now has Ranger fans eager for the start of the 2010 season. The way the team plays together has the fans cheering louder than ever. Even though the season starts on the road, the Rangers are expecting a large amount of fans to make the trip to Colorado to watch the Rangers take on the Thunderwolves. The first home game this season is September 25th against Texas College, so mark your calendars because, as we mentioned before earlier in the newscast, it is also homecoming. The football team isn't the only sport gearing up. Golf has also been getting ready for the upcoming season. 7 News sports reporter Johnny Gonzalez went behind the scenes to catch us up and is in the studio with more.
Thanks, Josh. Now, while most people are gearing down from their own golf seasons,
Second-year Ranger golf head coach Shauna Biven has her team ready to hit the fairways.
While being months away from their first official season tournament, Ranger golfers have already began their fall season.
Last fall, I believe we got 3 in. We just didn't get invited to many, and I kind of had to call and invite ourselves to a few and things like that. And so we've kind of already got our name out there after just last season, and you know, put our name up on the leaderboard several places, and we got invited to a lot more tournaments this fall, which is nice. So we're going to get a lot more experience for this fall going into next spring, which is when our kind of the real competitive season starts, when we have conference play.
Goals for the season can often change over the years, yet Coach Biven believes in building upon past successes.
Goals for this year, obviously the biggest goal overall, let's just get better. I want to be better than we were last year.
Showing up can be easy for tournament participants, but what about for fans in general?
And Dr. Cunningham made a good point last week in the student athlete orientation that she goes to all the events, football games, basketball, baseball, softball, soccer, everything, and she said, she goes, I haven't figured out yet how really to go to a golf tournament, you know. Well, you just come and you show up.
With all the talks of switching divisions, where does Ranger Golf fit into that spectrum?
I'm on the committee to kind of put together all of the pluses and minuses, and you know, is this a good thing, is this not a good thing? And you know, as far as off of that committee and as a coach, you know, as a golf coach, I think it's a good thing with that. So as far as competition level, you know, I feel like that we can compete with, say, the Southwesterns. You know, I can recruit and sell Alva Golf and Country Club and Alva, and I can compete with that with what Southwestern's got.
Coach Biven added about the transition to Division II that the only way her team might suffer is in recruiting. Other than that, there's more and more positive feedback coming from coaches about the move to the NCAA. Josh, back.
Keep it here. Joe and Ashton will be back with a look at upcoming events when 7 News returns.
Global warming. Some say irreversible consequences are 30 years away. 30 years? That won't affect me.
Pants. I am folding the pants. The pants are long. Do they go on my head? Do they? Do the pants go on my head? No. They go on
Everyday moments can become teaching moments because learning starts long before school does. Give your child the start they need at bornlearning.org.
Kind of have that ADD thing to where I can't really pay attention that well. I might as well just drop out.
So I bounced from like foster home to foster home.
Dropped out of high school my junior year.
I was hanging out with some people. Now I realize I shouldn't have. They join gangs, start doing drugs, try to sell drugs. It distracts you from everything around you. You're always having to watch your back. You can't really be yourself.
The one person who really got me to go back into school was my mom, my mother.
My parents were the people that helped me the most. I need them to know that it really does help me, that they're there for me.
Welcome back. Let's take a look at upcoming events. Homecoming button sales begin next Tuesday. Button sales are the main fundraiser for Northwestern's annual homecoming celebration. They get you into all the events, including both nights of the Miss Cinderella pageant and the football game.
Also, the Oklahoma Blood Institute will be accepting blood donations on Northwestern's Woodward campus. That will be in the Ranger West Room 118 on Wednesday and Thursday.
Finally, a National ACT Testing Day will take place at Northwestern on Saturday the 11th. For that reason, Miss Cinderella orientation has been moved from the morning to the afternoon from 2 to 5.
And in sports, Rangers are heading out of town this weekend. Josh?
Yeah, they going to Pueblo, Colorado, and they're going to take on the Thunderbolts.
Well, they should be experiencing better weather than what we've been having here lately.
I sure hope so. A reminder that we will not have a newscast next week, but we will return the week of September 13th.
Thank you for choosing 7 News today. Make it a great week.
We'll see you next time.